Hi everyone, welcome to What's in That Block. Here is a clay block. Your first task, based on looking at this block, turn it around, give you some different views of it. What I want you to try to do is predict if I were to slice into this block and make like kind of a slice right along this level here, and then we were to like take away the piece that I cut off and look at the cut end, what do you think it's going to look like inside there? So first step is to pause at this point and draw yourself a little sketch, get some colored pencils, some crayons, and draw what you think is inside this clay block. Okay, so now you're back. You've contemplated what you think is in this block. I'm now going to give you another piece of information. All right, so you've got your sketch of what you think is in the block. I'm now going to turn this and show you a cut surface of the bottom of the block. So here you go. That is what the bottom part of this clay block looks like. So now that you know that, what I'm going to ask you to do is kind of in your brain, rotate just like I am, the block back down, okay? And you're going to do what I said before and imagine that I'm going to cut a slice, like a loaf of bread, right across here, okay? And then we're going to let that slice fall away and we're going to see what it looks like on the cut end. So as you're working on that, I'll give you this visual again. That's what the bottom looks like when I cut into it. And you're going to try to imagine, move this a little closer to you, if I cut like a slice of bread off the end of this loaf over here on the edge, I'm going to cut right across here and let that side fall away. What are we going to see if I cut through this level right here, a plane right across here, and then look at that cut end? So now modify your sketch, get your colored pencils out again, you may need some new colors this time, and try to predict in your brain what would happen when we make that cut. So go ahead and make that sketch, we'll pause the video, we'll see how you do when we come back. Okay, so you're back. Now I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to take this block and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to go get my wire thing and I'll be right back. There's that cut end of the loaf, right? So now you've got that side cut and then we've got the bottom, looks like that, right? So we've got this surface and this surface, okay? So the next step I'm going to have you do, I'll leave this facing you, is I want you to try to imagine if we're then going to do another cut. All right, so we're going to do another cut, and this time we're going to do a different plane. So we're going to cut along this section right here, so right along this level. So what I want you to then imagine is if I cut right along this level, and then we let this piece fall over to the side, and then we were to turn it and look at what this cut surface is going to look like, try to predict what we're going to find in there. All right, so pause it again, make a new drawing of what you think is in there, and then we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go make another cut. Here you go. All right, so that is what we get when I make that additional cut. Question is it what you predicted? Once again, what you're going to do is you're going to take your sketch of what you thought it would be like inside, and you're going to compare it to this one. So you're going to make a sketch of this one as well. And then side by side, compare what's different and how you explain that. All right, so while you're working on that, and you can pause the video, I'm going to make another cut this time. So we've got that. That's kind of the visual you're looking at here. Trying to figure out what exactly we're kind of seeing at this point. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make another cut, and I'm going to make it right across here. Kind of right through this level and down this face. So I'm going to cut this block into two, a left and a right half. So I'm going to cut right up over the top, and then down through the middle of this, okay? So this is getting trickier and trickier, right? So I want you to try and sketch what you think is going to happen if I cut over this, right down the center, and let the two halves fall to the sides. What are those cut surfaces going to look like? All right, so pause again, and I'll be back with those sections. All right, I did it. We got those, they were together. This is what you were looking at. Made the cut, turn it, and that's what we're seeing there. So what we got to try to do now is try and make some sense out of what this three-dimensional structure is. So you're going to try and imagine how this thing was constructed to begin with, I put this together myself out of clay. I'm very proud of myself. So what kinds of shapes did I have to put together to generate a clay block, a loaf like this, that when cut generates these images? This is a lot of what visualization is in a lot of STEM fields. For our purposes specifically, it is so that we can understand histology, where we take a section of tissue, we make it into a block, and then we slice it into really thin layers, and we lay those layers flat on a microscope slide. And it can be very hard to make that mental transition between a three-dimensional block and a two-dimensional image. So this is your beginning of that process.